We have shared it. We have notified the people. Yes, we can start. People have started joining in. So yeah, good
All right.
evening everyone. Hope you all are doing well. And as you all know, today we are here for the event Decoding Crypto for the Layman. And we will be discussing different terms of the blockchain. And we have named the session in such a way like we are discussing the super complex terms or with the terms which sound to be complex in the most simple language that we can understand it properly. And for this event, we have Ankit Jaiswal with us. Welcome, Ankit. Thanks for accepting the invite. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, Shaurya. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
Perfect.
People, if you have any question, then just put it in the message section. I hope you are not familiar with it. It is just above the event stage where you have joined the event. So yes, so we can start.
All right. So just start sharing my screen.
Yes,
Can everyone see my screen?
I can see, so people can also see. Yeah.
All right. All right. So, hi everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. My name is Ankit, and welcome to the session Fundamentals of Crypto and Blockchain. First of all, I want to congratulate you all. Being a college student, you are curious enough and you have taken this step to understand this tech of the future. We all know that Web 3.0 is coming, the revolution in the world of internet is coming. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And it's great that, whatever field you're working in, whether you're a student or you're working, and doesn't matter what subject you're studying or in which field you're working, which company you're interning at, you know, it's very important to understand this new tech, this tech called blockchain and cryptocurrencies and NFTs, dApps, smart contracts, Web3. Even if you don't know some of these terms, don't worry, I'll explain everything in this session. But it's very important to understand it. Why? First of all, because our work and our lifestyle a few years down the line will depend on it. Just like, when internet started in 1990s, people thought that it's just for geeks, but now everybody uses it in their personal life as well as for their work. If somebody doesn't know how to do internet, he might not get a normal white collar jobs as we know today, right? And also, like, he might not use a lot of things in his personal life, like daily use apps like WhatsApp or IRCTC or and whatnot, right? So this is very important. Great step that you have taken to understand the fundamentals of this. I'll explain everything here: what blockchain is, what cryptocurrency is, what NFTs are, what Web3 is, what dApps are. Right. So let's start. So first of all, I'll start with myself, about myself. Like every other Indian kid, I studied engineering, then I did MBA, and then I tried to figure out what I want to do in life. So I worked for 5 years in three different companies doing three different jobs. I was with Amazon as a financial analyst. Then I was with Budweiser company as their analytics team manager. But like it was in 2020 during the pandemic that I started reading, and I got across this article about blockchain that explained what it is. Before that, I had no idea what blockchain is. I thought that blockchain is same as Bitcoin, and I thought that I will never be able to buy a Bitcoin because it's very expensive, unless I thought that I can also buy a fraction of it. So that made me jump down that rabbit hole, and I started exploring what it is, what blockchain is. And when I got to know what smart contracts are, and what a dApp is, and what Web3 is, that's when I got convinced that this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, at least for the next few years, to say, because first of all, I liked it, I loved it a lot. Then I thought that I'll be good at it, and thirdly, like, it's the next revolution. Like, if you learn it at this stage, you'll have endless opportunities in a few years, or maybe even in a few months, right? So that's about me. Other than that, so it's been like 1 year since I've been working in this space, and 2 years that I've been learning this space. I work in a startup based in US, and I also work freelance. I do freelance web development and freelance blockchain development and freelance consulting as well. And I also write a lot on LinkedIn. I write one post almost every day explaining difficult concept in a very layman terms and in a very easy language that anyone can understand. So this is my my LinkedIn profile link. If you want to follow me there you can do that as well. I request Shaurya, like if you can just put my LinkedIn profile link in there, that would help everyone to follow me on LinkedIn as well. So
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So that's about me. So now I will start with the first basic question. So when I got to know about blockchain, I googled one question, and that question was, what is a blockchain? And now there's a problem that internet has. Although like internet is a great source, I learned everything from internet, and I can't thank internet enough. If internet was there, I would still be doing, I don't know like what I will be doing. I will be still doing some job that I didn't like, but like googling and YouTube stuff helped me to learn this skill, and to become like become some kind of good knowledge, get good knowledge in the Web3 space. So yes, I thank internet a lot, but there was a problem. There was a problem in the internet, especially when I tried to learn blockchain, and that problem was the problem of jargons. So when I googled this word, I got some language, some definition. It was in English language, but I didn't understand it because it had a lot of technical words and jargons. I'll show you what that was. So the definition was this: blockchain is a distributed immutable ledger for recording transactions, tracking assets, and building trust. And I was like, what are they trying to say? What is distributed? What is meant by immutable? What is a ledger? What kind of transactions are they talking about? Which assets? And what is building trust? Like, where did trust come in between? And it didn't end here. Like, there were like 4 or 5 more lines, explaining what blockchain is, and I didn't understand anything. So I thought that this is going to be a tough ride. So I refer to a lot of other sources as well to understand what blockchain is. And once I finally understood it, I promised myself that if I have to teach it to someone, I will teach it in a very layman term so that everyone can understand the gist of it, right? So, for example, you can think of that if you have seen the movie Three Idiots, right? You can think of that scene like, what is a machine? A professor asked in the workshop, and then there's this guy Chatur who gives a very technical definition that nobody understands, and that Rancho stands up and he says that machine is something that makes your life easy. Fan is a machine, the tube light is a machine, even the zip of your pants is a machine, right? So that is the kind of definition that we need to give if we want to get people attracted in this field, right? So the definition that I can think of that can explain this to everyone in a very easy language is this one. So blockchain is like a notebook or a database. A notebook or a database where if you write anything, you can't change or delete it. So we saw this word called immutable, right? Immutable means unchangeable. Like if you write anything there, you cannot delete it or you cannot change it. It's unchangeable, it's immutable, right? So this is what a blockchain is, as simple as that. So like this is just a database on the internet, just a database. Consider it like an Excel sheet. If you write anything, you cannot edit it and you cannot delete it. That's a blockchain. Like that's the gist of it. Like it's not a very scientific foolproof. It's not a very scientific foolproof definition. But you want to understand what it is. This is the practical use of it. Any doubts till now? Like you understand like what it is? If you have any doubts, you can write in the chat box and like Shaurya can convey it to me. Right? So
Yes.
now,
Um,
yeah.
so people have questions related to NFT, related to investing in crypto and some other things. So guys, we will take all the questions in the end of the session. So you can just put the question, the message, and we will take them in the end of the session so that the flow of the session would not also break.
All right. All right. So now we have understood what a blockchain is. It's a database that cannot be edited. That is a blockchain. But why do we need such a database that cannot be edited or changed? What is the use of it? So let's understand why do we need a blockchain? And we need blockchain to solve the problem of double spending. Now, what is double spending? This again a jargon, a technical term. What is double spending? So let's understand. So, for example, I want to send a picture. I click the picture on my phone and I want to send it to Shaurya. How will I send it? I can WhatsApp him or I will email him, right? But have I really sent that picture to him? The answer is no. I've just sent a copy to him. That picture is still in my phone. I still have that picture in my phone, and now a copy of it is still is in Shaurya's phone as well. So that's why it's called sharing of picture, not transfer of picture. I just shared a picture, a copy with him. I've not transferred that picture from my phone to his phone, right? Now, sharing a picture is fine because it's okay if there are multiple copies. But what if I send something of value? What if I want to send him money? What if I want to send him money through 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 the internet? Or what if I want to send him the company some shares of say Tata company that I have bought? Can I send it via WhatsApp? No, I cannot do it. So for that we need an intermediary. If I want to send money, I need a bank in between, a banking app. So if I have my account in ICICI Bank, I will need it. I will use its app, and that app will make sure that if I send 500 rupees to Shaurya, those 500 rupees are deducted from my account and added to Shaurya's account. I cannot send 500 rupees via WhatsApp. I cannot click a picture of a 500 rupee note and send it to Shaurya. I will need to use a banking app or Paytm or a credit card company. So these apps or these companies will make sure that 500 rupees is deducted from my account and added to Shaurya's account. So this solves the problem of double spending. The problem of double spending was what we did with the photograph, that it became double. If I send it to 100 pictures, it becomes 100. But in order to solve that, we use an intermediary in between. So what they do is they make sure that if I'm sending 500 rupees, it's getting deducted from my account and getting added to Shaurya's account. Similarly, if I want to send, say, shares of Tata to Shaurya, I might use Zerodha's app or Upstox app or any share trading app, right? So it will make sure that that share is removed from my account and that is added to Shaurya's account, right? So we need an intermediary in a real world. But what if we do it? What if we want to do it without an intermediary? So that's why blockchain was created, and its first use case, that Bitcoin was created. So what was Bitcoin? Bitcoin is used to transfer money from my account to Shore's account without any intermediary. We don't need any bank because the code of the blockchain take care of it. How does it take care of it? So for example, let's look at a bank. When I use ICICI app to send money, I just press a button that send 500 rupees to Shaurya, and the bank server, what it does, it to makes a change that Ankit has transferred 500 rupees to Shaurya, and hence my balance is reduced by 500, Shaurya's balance is added by 500. But in blockchain, so similarly, if I use Bitcoin blockchain, that blockchain will write that if I send, say, 50 Bitcoins to Shaurya, it will just write on the blockchain that Ankit has transferred 50 Bitcoins to Shaurya. So now if I look at my wallet, it will show 50 less Bitcoins, and Shaurya's wallet will show 50 more Bitcoins. Why? Because we wrote a statement on the blockchain that Ankit has transferred 50 Bitcoins to Shaurya, and nobody can change it. How is it unchangeable? We will see later. But since we know that nobody can change it, that's why we can write it on the blockchain. So if I want to send money to someone, I can just write that Ankit has shared 50 bitcoins to, sorry, Shaurya Sharma, and the transaction is done. We don't need a bank, we don't need a Paytm app, we don't need a credit card app. We can just write it on the blockchain, and our wallets are updated accordingly, right? So Bitcoin solves the problem of double spending with a code rather than using an intermediary. We don't need a bank, we don't need Paytm. We can just do it with a code. The code will make sure that money is deducted from my account and added to Shaurya's account. Now, since there are no intermediaries, there are a lot of benefits of it. First of all, the transaction can be faster. So if I want to send some money to US, it will take 4 to 5 business days. If I work for a startup based in US, and if I want to get my salary in India, it takes 4 to 5 business days to reach my account, right? But if they send it via blockchain, I get it immediately. So first of all, faster transactions, faster international transactions, right? Cheaper. So if I get my salary from US, if they send me certain amount of dollar, if the price of the dollar is 75 rupees, when I receive it in my account, I will receive some 71, 72 rupees per dollar rather than 75 rupees per dollar, because they have banks have huge fee or the margins that they keep. And if I use an app like PayPal, they will deduct even more. So yeah, so that's why it's cheaper. If we transfer using blockchain, there's very minuscule, very minute transaction fee that we have to pay, but not like not like what banks charge. And it is safer. We will see it later. Since blockchain is a database that nobody can change, it is safer than a bank server. Even bank servers are safe, but theoretically, every all the data in a bank server is stored in it's supposed to be stored in one server or one computer. There's a one single point of failure. So, for example, if I and Shaurya have accounts in Yes Bank, our balances will be written in that server. But if somebody hacks that server, he can change it. But blockchain, it's not the case. In blockchain, the data is stored in multiple servers. Plus, there are some other reasons as well that nobody can hack blockchain. We will see it in another slide. But yeah, it is safer. It is safer as compared to one centralized server and one single point of failure, right? Last point is limited amount. Bitcoin is in limited amount. There are only 21 million Bitcoin, and nobody can print more of it. Whereas in a currency system, uh, central banks can print more money. So if there are a total of 1 crore rupees of supply in India and I own 1 lakh rupees, I own basically 1% of the total rupee supply in India. But if the central bank prints 50 lakh rupees more, I still own only 1 lakh now out of 1.5 crore instead of 1 crore. So my holding is diluted, right? So that was also one of the reason that Bitcoin was created as an experiment to to have a currency. Now in no way I'm saying that Bitcoin should be used as a currency and other banks should be closed. That's a separate debate. I'm not an expert in that. So that's for the economists and governments and authorities to decide. But what we need to understand is, like, this was a use case that was created. Bitcoin is a use case, right? It can be used as a currency. It has all these benefits. It has limited amount, plus it's like safer, cheaper, faster than our usual currency system. So this was the first case of a blockchain. Since we can write on the blockchain, if we want to transfer something that Ankit has transferred 50 bitcoins on Shaurya, it just creates our currency system instead of having an intermediary like banks, etc. So this was first use case. So this is the first reason why we need a blockchain and or a database that cannot be changed, right? So
Sorry to
any
sorry
doubts
to
till now?
interrupt you. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. But people are saying I researched a lot about blockchain, but your explanation is so simple than on internet. And that's
Thank you.
I'm also surprised that how one can explain these terms in so layman language that just great. Your explanation is too
Yeah, I mean,
simple.
thank you. Thanks a lot for that feedback. So I mean, the reason behind it is this, that when I was trying to understand, I gave myself these examples just to confirm my learning, right? And I thought that whenever I will explain in a very layman term, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so this is now we have learned blockchain and Bitcoin. The first use case as a currency. It was created in 2009 by an anonymous person or organization called Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who he or she or they is, right? So the motive was to create a currency system. Then between 2009 to 2014, a lot of similar currency systems were created, like Litecoin, Monero, and so on, right? So, but till 2014, blockchain was just used as a currency system. There was no other use case. And things changed when Ethereum was created. Ethereum was created in 2015. And what Ethereum did was that it's okay, we can use it as a currency. So, so blockchain is what? It's a piece of code. Current cryptocurrency is what? Is a piece of code. But rather than using that piece of code just as a currency, can we also use it to represent something? So, for example, if we look at in our real life, every country has a currency. So, India has rupee, US has dollars, UK has pounds, right? Similarly, every blockchain has a currency. Bitcoin blockchain has Bitcoin currency. Ethereum blockchain has Ether currency. Polygon blockchain has Matic currency. Binance blockchain has BNB currency. So every blockchain has a currency. Like every country has a currency, every blockchain has a currency. Now, if in India people say that okay, we use paper to represent a currency, can we also use it to represent some objects? So, for example, I can create a document to represent my house documents. I can create a document to create to represent my car insurance. I can create a document to represent my degree, whatever degree I get, that is on a paper. I can create a I can use a paper to represent my bus ticket. The bus ticket is also on a paper, right? So paper can be used as a currency, but also used to represent something. But we have to write it on that paper that hey, this paper is a ticket of bus number 82 that is going to Bangalore, or this paper is an MBA education degree. It's a proof that Ankit Jaiswal has completed an MBA degree from say from certain university. And yeah, so we can use paper to represent other things as well. Now let's come back to the blockchain. Since we can use that piece of code to represent currency, we can also add more code to represent other things. So for example, I create a digital piece of art. Before blockchain, there was no way to establish who owns that, because if I send it to 100 phones, 100 people have that, but who owns that? Now I can write a piece of code on the Ethereum blockchain that hey, this I'm creating a serial number 0 or serial number 123 whatever, and this serial number or this token represents this art created by Ankit Jaiswal, which is stored in this place. Now whoever has that token, I can transfer that token, like just like I can transfer bitcoins, I can transfer that token. Whoever has that tokens, he's the owner of that art. Now I can also attach some utilities to that art, that whoever has an art, he can have one free happy meal. Say McDonald's can do it. So for or Amitabh Bachchan can click a picture, represent it with a token, and say that whoever owns this token or whoever owns this picture, he will get to have lunch with me once in a quarter, or he will have first day, first show, first row ticket of all my movies, right? Or he will or certain other things, right? So we can create a digital asset, we can transfer it with the help of a token, and we can attach utilities to it. So this is the token. So we can do it for like digital art, we can do it for music, we can do it for house deeds. If I want to sell my house to Shaurya on blockchain, I'll tell him that you send me 1000 ether coins, and I will represent my house document with the help of this token on the blockchain, and I will transfer that you to your wallet address. And since that token is in Shaurya's address, now he's the owner and nobody can challenge that. Since I represented my house with that token and I transfer it to him. Similarly, if I have a company, I create shares. 5% of shares I represented on the blockchain with the help of token, and I send it to Shaurya. Now Shaurya is the owner of 5% of my company. In the real world, if you buy shares, if you have experience, you would know that it takes some like t plus 2 days to settlement for the settlement of the shares in the real time. But in blockchain we can do immediately, right? Then we can also tokenize everything: health records, marriage certificates, etc. One more example I will give you. We can also like have fractionalized ownership of everything. So for example, I see a very good real estate property that's worth of crores of rupees. I don't have money to buy it, but I want to buy, say, a fraction of it, 1/100th of it. So what I can do is I can represent it, that real estate property, in with 100 tokens. So each token represent 1/100th of that property. And if I buy one token, I own 1/100th part of that property. And whatever rent is being generated, whatever is being, value is being created out of that house, I will have 1% of it. So these are the benefits of blockchain. You can represent something on a blockchain via a token, and you can send it. And this was possible since Ethereum came. And now we have multiple such blockchains like Polygon, Binance, Avalanche, Solana. On all these blockchains, we can create a token that represents something, and we can trade it, we can buy and sell it. Other than money, they also have currency, like Ethereum has ether coins as well, but we can also use tokens to buy and sell it to represent something. And for those tokens, we need to we need to pay. So if I want to sell that token to Shaurya, he needs to pay me in the native cryptocurrency, like for the ether coin. And if there's any transaction fee, that transaction fee will also be paid using that cryptocurrency. So if you look at cryptocurrency versus token, like in a country, there's a current currency. Like in India, there's rupee. If you want to buy something, we pay it, and if even if you want to pay any transaction fee, we pay via rupees. But we can also utilize paper to represent something, say my house, and I can transfer it. Similarly, in the blockchain world, every blockchain has a currency. Ethereum has ether currency. We can use it as a medium of exchange or for paying transfer fee, uh, any transaction fee, etc. as well. Plus, we can use a token. We can create a token that represents something, and we can also use it for transferring between two people. So that is the difference between cryptocurrency versus crypto token. Any doubts till now, guys?
People, if you one second. People, if you have any doubt, then put in the message section. And you are explaining in so easy terms that I don't think so anybody has any doubt because like there's nothing which is untouched. Like there's no topic, I guess, which is untouched till now what we have discussed.
Okay. Thanks for that feedback.
Yeah,
I'll try
people
to do
don't
the
have
same
any
in the
doubt.
coming slides as well. All right. So let's move ahead. Now let's see how is a blockchain immutable or unchangeable. As I said, that blockchain is a database that cannot be changed. But how do we make sure that nobody can change it? So first of all, blockchain is not stored on one computer, it's stored on multiple computers around the world. So all the data of a blockchain, it's not just stored on one server, multiple servers. These servers are called nodes. Compared to, say, for example, your Facebook account data or your bank's data, all that data is stored in one single server in that company. And if somebody hacks it, the data is compromised. But blockchain is stored in multiple computers and multiple servers around the world, right? So first, even if I hack one, I won't be able to change it. So that is one reason. Second reason, so even suppose I hack, like I have multiple of them, right? So what stops me from hacking that blockchain? Let me explain you. First of all, let's look at how data is stored. So data is stored in different blocks in a blockchain. So for the first 10 minutes I mean, for the Bitcoin blockchain, if we'll take the example of Bitcoin blockchain, for the first 10 minutes, all the transactions that take place. So for example, I send 10 Bitcoins to Shaurya, Shaurya sends 20 Bitcoins to person A, that person A sends 5 Bitcoins to person B. All these transactions are stored in a block. So for the first 10 minutes, all such transactions are stored in block A. Once the 10 minutes are over, then the other transactions for the next 10 minutes are stored in block B. Once those 10 minutes are over, then for the next 10 minutes, all the transactions are stored in block C and so on. Hence, all the transaction data is stored in blocks. Now, when block A is completed, we take all the transaction data and we create a code or hash from it. So we take all the data and we generate a code from it or a hash from it, right? Let's call it hash. So that hash is created, since that hash is created from all the data, even if I change one single alphabet or one single digit from any transaction data, that hash will change, right? Then this hash connects block A and block B. Then once block B is complete, we take all the transaction data from block B plus the previous hash that connected block A and block B, and we create another hash. And that hash will join block B to block C. So we create a hash from block A data, we link it with block B. Then we create a hash from block B's data and the previous hash, and we link it with block C and so on. So that's why it's called a blockchain. These are blocks of data and they're connected with each other, chained to each other with the help of hashes. Now, if I want to change some data in block A, suppose in block A there was a transaction that I sent 50 Bitcoins to Shaurya and I want to delete that. Even if I change one single alphabet or one single digit, that hash will change. And since this hash will change, the next hash will also change because the next hash was created of block B's data and the previous hash. And since this hash will change, the next hash will also change. And since these hashes will change, the other blockchains will get to know that this data is not matching, so they will just put it back in the original form. But I can do one thing, even if I want to manage it, I will try to do, okay, I will try to correct these hashes. For that I will have to solve some mathematical puzzles, and I will try to correct these hashes in the previous form. But that I have to do it within the next 10 minutes till the next block is formed. If the next block is formed before that, this will automatically change to the previous. So three reasons. First of all, storage on multiple nodes, right? Even if I hack them, then also like these are connected via hashes, right? If I change something, the hash will change, and it will generate a red flag, and the system will put it in the original form. But even if I want to manage those hashes, even if I want to correct those hashes, I have only the time only till the new block is created. Like if I fail that, it will go back to the previous. So that's why it's practically impossible to hack the blockchain. Yes, but see, hacking the blockchain is difficult, but there are apps that people build on blockchain. If the code of that app is compromised, that app can be hacked. That app can be hacked, and you can lose your money. So consider blockchain like an operating system like Android, and think that nobody can. It is so safe that nobody can hack that Android. Plus, if there's an app, you create a TikTok app on Android, and its code is compromised, people can hack that TikTok and they can compromise with your data, right? So blockchain is practically impossible to hack, right? So these are the three reasons why blockchain is immutable. Yes. So we talked about tokens in one of the previous slides, that we can create a token or a piece of code on the blockchain to represent real things, right? Or digital things. So now these things can be of two types, fungible or non-fungible. So for example, if I give a 100 rupee note to Shaurya and I tell him that you give me another 100 rupee note back, will Shaurya have a problem? No, because both these notes have same value. So they are replaceable or fungible with each other. Or I tell him that I have a Tata share, you take my Tata share and give me your Tata share. Will he have a problem? No, because both those shares have same value. Or we are going from a metro train, say to Gurgaon, and I tell him that you take my metro train token, I take your token. Will he have a problem? No, because both those tokens are for the metro train going to Gurgaon, right? So these assets, these items are called replaceable items or fungible items. And if we represent such items on a blockchain, it's called a fungible token. So for example, if I create company shares on a blockchain, these are fungible tokens, right? Secondly, if I tell Shaurya that, hey, you take my license, my driving license, and I'll take your driving license, he won't do it because both of them are different. Or I tell him that you take my college degree and I'll take your college degree, he won't take it because we have different percentages, we have from different colleges, different courses, right? So these are called non-replaceable items or non-fungible items. And when we represent such items on blockchain with the help of tokens, those tokens are called non-fungible tokens or NFT. NFT, you would have seen that image, right? That image is a unique image. You cannot change it with any other image. So that's why it's called an NFT, right? So these are the difference between fungible tokens versus non-fungible tokens. If they can be replaced with each other, they are fungible. If they're unique and they cannot be replaced with each other, those are non-fungible tokens. Moving on, what is a smart contract? Like I gave an example earlier that Shaurya, I will transfer you my digital image that is represented by a token or an NFT. I will just transfer that NFT to you, and you send me 500 ether coins. So Shaurya will say that, okay, Ankit, I'll send you, but you are sitting in India, I am sitting in Dubai, I don't trust you, I don't know who you are. First, you send me the token and then I'll send you the 500 coins. I will say, no, Shaurya, I don't know you. First, you send me the 500 ether coins and then I will send you the NFT. How does it work? So we in the real world, we hire a broker. I will give my painting to that broker. He will give those dollars to the broker, and then he will exchange those two items. He will give the dollars to me and then he will give the painting to Shaurya. But in the digital world, in the blockchain world, we will use a piece of code written in a programming language. So that will ensure that I need to put that token in a certain place and within the blockchain, and he will need to put those 500 ether coins in a certain place within the blockchain. And when we both do that, blockchain will like release those ether coins for me, and it will release that painting for him. So that exchange takes place. So this is just one example. When we create that token, when I write that, this serial number represents this painting or this music video, that is also done through a piece of code called smart contract. And once we want to exchange it, then also it's done by a smart contract. I can write multiple conditions that if Shaurya wants to buy it, he needs to pay 500 ether coins, and he needs to pay within the next 3 days. Otherwise, this will go. This offer will be non-valid. And like there's a condition that he shouldn't have bought any other NFT from me previously. I can write multiple conditions. So all these conditions are written with the help of a smart contract, which is a piece of code. Now we learned what smart contract is. So if Shaurya doesn't know coding, he doesn't know how a smart contract looks like, how programming works, and I give him that piece of code that, hey, use this to make the transaction. Will he be able to use it? No. So that's why I need to give him a dApp. So dApp is a website. I need to give him a website that is connected to the smart contract. Instead of saying that you execute this code on the blockchain, I will tell him that, hey, this is a website, this is the user interface. There's a button on this website. If you press this button, this transaction will take place. So when he presses that button, that automatically connects to the smart contract, and then that smart contract executes the transaction on the blockchain. So this is a dApp. There's a smart contract, which is just a piece of code that talks to the blockchain. And if we want a layman to interact with the blockchain, we need to give him a website or a user interface. And once then smart contract connects with the website, it is called a dApp or a decentralized app or a distributed app. So dApp is just a normal app if it is connected to a blockchain or a smart contract. So for example, Instagram is right now a simple app, but Instagram has plans to connect your NFTs. You can connect your blockchain wallet, and you can display your NFTs on Instagram. So once it connects to the blockchain, it will called a dApp. It will called a Web3 dApp, right? It will be called a decentralized app. So moving on now, what is Web3? So it's an umbrella. At the base, there's smart contract, which is a piece of code that talks to the blockchain. Then there's dApp, which includes a front end user interface, and an ecosystem of all these dApps is called Web3. Like ecosystem of apps like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter is called Web2. But ecosystem of all the apps that are connected to the blockchain is called Web3. Now, what is the difference between Web1, Web2, Web3? Web1 was in the early 90s, where if you went to a particular website, like for example, if you went to Harvard University's website or you went to Coca-Cola's website, you could just read about the company. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't write much there. You couldn't create your own account. It was just a read-only thing. So Web1 was read-only. But it changed from 2000, 2004 onwards, when Facebook was created and LinkedIn was created, then Twitter was created, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, etc. There you couldn't just read it. You could also upload. You could create your own account, and you could upload your videos on YouTube. You could upload your pictures on Instagram. You could upload your status updates on Facebook. You could upload a tweet on Twitter, and so on, right? So it became read plus write. It gave you control. But one of the problems for Web2 was that every all your data was on the server of that company. So if you upload a video on YouTube, that video is on the server of YouTube company, and all your followers data is also on YouTube company. And if YouTube is banned in your country, you lose all your videos and you lose all your followers. Similar thing happened when TikTok was banned in 2020. There were a lot of TikTokers. When it was banned, they lost their content, they lost their followers and everything. But in web3 if you upload anything on blockchain, nobody can delete it, nobody can ban it, nobody can delete it, right? If you have any asset on your blockchain wallet, and nobody can take it from you, because it belongs in your wallet. It's not in a company's server, it is in your wallet, right? That wallet is the any no company has an access to your wallet, only you have access to your wallet. And if you put anything on blockchain, nobody can change it, nobody can delete it. So web3 is read plus write plus own. So web1 was read only, web2 was read plus write, and web3 is read plus write plus own, right? uh, so yeah. And this is the last slide, like careers in blockchain. So uh, so careers in blockchain is whatever career in careers in web3, same as careers in web2 plus the blockchain component. So if you're a developer, you're a front end developer, you're a back end developer, you can become a blockchain developer just by adding another skill of smart contract development. So you also need to know web2 development, like front end, back end, plus you need to know smart contract development as well. So you just learn smart contract development, and you will become a Web3 developer. If you're a marketer of a Web2 company, you work for a Facebook, Amazon in a marketing team. You just learn how to use blockchain. You can apply for a marketing position in a Web3 company. If you are a product manager, learn how blockchain works. You can work in a Web3 company. You're a legal person. If you understand blockchain, there are endless opportunities for you. You're an entrepreneur, you want to create a Web3 app, you need to understand blockchain. So understanding blockchain, understanding how it works, understanding what NFT is, understanding what cryptocurrency is, understanding what tokens are, this is all is important if you want to create a career in Web3. And if you're talking about developer, so if you want to become create dApps or apps on blockchain, you need to learn front end or and back end. Plus, you need to under learn Solidity. Solidity is a programming language in which you create a smart contract. So once you learn how to create smart contracts and how to attach that with front end your Web2 app, it will become a Web3 app, right? So these are the career opportunities. So it's same as Web2, but just learn how blockchain works, how smart contracts work. You will have that same title in the Web3 world as well. So yes, that's from my side. I hope this this helped you. This session helped you. You could understand what each of the terminologies mean, how we use those, what are different careers here. So and most importantly, like when you go out from here, right, I want you to look, search more into internet, look into YouTube, look into Google, try searching what it is. I will share, I can share some of the good resources as well. So, for example, go to a YouTube channel called Whiteboard Crypto. Whiteboard Crypto, right? Go there, it will, explain you very good, very good concepts as well. Plus, if you follow me on LinkedIn, Ashwarya, I will put it in the chat. I mean, you can just forward it. So yeah, so this is my LinkedIn profile. I've just added in the chat. You can follow me there as well. I try to explain all the difficult concepts in easy language there as well. So yeah, so that's from me, guys. I'm open for any questions now.
Yeah, wait for 1 second. Let me put the whiteboard crypto and your LinkedIn profile. And also, guys, oh sorry. And also, guys, you're on the what's happening here? It's Whiteboard Crypto, the YouTube channel. And also, I will mention the Ankit's LinkedIn profile in the YouTube description as well, so you can find him there as well. And I am also mentioning it in the Discord, right in the message section, so you can find him his profile in message section also. Yeah, that's done. So there was a question, please explain NFT, and we have covered it. There was a question, NFT token, we have covered it. There was a question, please explain stable coin and how they are connected with country's currency.
Yeah. So as I said that we can use tokens to represent things, right? We can represent fungible things and non-fungible things. So if we want to represent some real world currency like US dollar or Indian rupee or any UK pound on the blockchain, we can create a token and call it a stable coin that is pegged to the dollar. So how it works is, so for example, USDC is a stable coin, USD coin, right? How it works is, if I want to buy 10 USDC, I will actually submit $10 to a company called Circle, and they will issue 10 USDC. So that ensures that there's a peg, it is taking away $10 from the system and it is generating 10 USDC coin in the blockchain ecosystem. So it makes sure that the peg is remained. My 10 USDC are actually backed by the 10 US dollar that I paid. And then I can use that USDC in the blockchain if I want to pay something. So some people might not want to get, so if Shaurya wants to sell me an NFT picture, an image via an NFT, so I can say that, hey, I will pay you in Ether coin, but he will say that no, Ether is very unstable. You pay me in USD coin, which is a stable coin. So I will pay him in USD coin, and the value of USD coin will remain the same. That is like, if it's 75 rupees, it will remain as 75 rupees. Whereas value of Ether keeps going up and down, right? So I can represent any currency on the blockchain with the help of a token, and this is called a stable coin, and it is backed by that actual currency. It means that I get it by exchanging that real currency. So that is a stable coin. Hope that was clear.
Yeah, they are saying that people are saying that if they are stable, they are connected to country's currency. Then in the recent
Yeah,
news, I hear that they also got this. They also have some up and down issue, like the stocks, like they go up and they go
yeah,
down. Then how they are stable?
yeah. So recently we saw that a UST coin on the Luna on the Terra blockchain, that was, that got, that plummeted. That was because it was algorithmically generated. That was not backed by real currency. It was backed using an algorithm. It's a little difficult. I won't go into the detail, but the point was that if I, back it by Luna and Bitcoin, we will back it with the help of computer code. And something didn't work well there, and it dropped. So these algorithmic stable coins can be dangerous, but if the example that I gave for USDC, it will always stay like, the same price, because it is backed by the actual dollar that I gave. So it will always be equal to $1. Never it will be less than or more than the dollar.
Got it. So there is another question. Please explain investing in crypto.
So investing in crypto, I'm not an investment and financial expert, but my advice will be, before you invest in anything, just understand what it is. So, uh, uh, for example, if you want to invest in Bitcoin, first of all, understand what it is. Read its white paper. Watch some videos on the internet trying to understand like what it is. Ethereum, what it is. Polkadot, what it is. Every blockchain has a currency, and every blockchain has some use cases. So if a blockchain has good use cases, it is being used in good apps, it can be a good investment. But if there's a currency only, going up with hype, and there's no real world use case of it, just I would advise to stay away from such coins. So because they can be dangerous. I am not like, again, giving any financial advice, just an advice that before you invest in something, try to understand it, watch videos of it, just don't fall under FOMO, and because everybody is investing, I will also invest. Just don't do that.
Got it. So guys, if you have any other question, then just put in the message section. Somebody is saying that I had a lot of questions before the event, but as the event process, I don't have any other question now. That's great.
Thanks a lot. Like, it's good that you understood, but again, like, go home and try to think, what I said. You should have more questions, because we didn't cover everything in detail. We covered everything in very surface, just to understand what everything is, what the basic terminology is. But whatever we learned today, I would request you to go home and Google more about it. And we will have more questions, and Google those questions. And if you have any questions, just you can directly DM me on LinkedIn. I reply to everyone.
Yeah.
I make sure that I reply to everyone if you have any questions. So you can DM me over there as well. So just keep the curiosity on, guys. I mean, it's a very good step that you have taken to try to understand this technology. If you master it, there are endless opportunities for you in terms of career, and in terms of other your personal branding as well.
Got it. There's there's last question, I guess. So yeah, they are saying that my last question is, blockchain is not controlled by any authority, but it is somewhere developed by someone. So how we can say that it is
Yeah.
not controllable by the public?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's always a team who's developing it, but every action is stored in multiple servers, as I said. It's not stored in one server. So if even if the founder of Ethereum wants to change something on the Ethereum blockchain, he cannot do it. He just cannot do it, because everything is stored in multiple servers. And all the decisions are not taken just by the management team. So people who own that particular token, they all participate in that. So for example, for public companies, if I own share, I can participate in the annual share meeting once a while. But for blockchain, every decision, no, there's not just one annual meeting. Every decision is taken by everyone who holds that particular token.
Got it. So people are saying thank you. I don't have any other question. Thank you. So really,
All
thank
right.
you. Thank you, Ankit, for
Thanks.
such an informational session. That's a great session. I really learned a lot myself, and I know some terms, but I don't know much about them. Like I don't know in the depth. So yeah, thank you very much for this valuable session, and people
Thanks
loved
a
it.
lot, Shaurya, for organizing it. I love the session. I love like explaining all these things. And thanks a lot, everyone who joined. And all the best for your future. Keep the curiosity on and keep learning. Thank
Yeah,
you.